considering whether to choose building an internal team or outsourcing to a sales development team such as superhuman prospecting, there's a few things to consider when kind of weighing pros and cons versus bringing an internal team in or partnering with an outsourced sales development team. So one of the things to consider is that when you're first testing and rolling out a sales development program, you really want to make sure that you are kind of firing bullets before cannonballs. You want to test the marketplace to see how things are going and scale up if it's working really well. So with an internal team, it might be a little difficult to do that because if things aren't going well, or if you're running a couple tests periodically, then you're going to have to typically provide consistent work for them while you're in those in-between phases, which can really cost a lot extra to provide that additional work. With an outsourced team, what you're able to do is scale at will when we offer project-based campaigns, so you can go seasonally or by the project to give yourself time to analyze and see how things are going, and gives you that flexibility to adjust and pivot without additional costs. So another thing to consider when thinking about bringing your team internal or outsourcing is the factor of consistency and dependability. We've had clients in the past who have worked with us and also hired teams internally at the same time to see which one worked better. And one of the things that they noticed was how difficult it can be to manage the consistency or dependability of those internal team members to make sure that they're hitting goals on a regular occurring basis to continually meet the objectives that they set forth for them. With an outsourced team, you have the dependability and consistency because we have dozens of team members that can work on your project on a regular basis throughout the week or the month or the year. Building off the last point, one of the other factors to consider when thinking about building an internal team versus using an outsourced sales development team is the ability to scale at will. One of the advantages of using an outsourced sales development team is your ability to really scale up the size of the project on a moment's notice. Since we have access to a large number of client SDRs, we are able to kind of turn up the volume very quickly on projects so that we can generate a higher number of leads and appointments for you based upon some of your goals and objectives. It's certainly possible with an internal team, but with the amount of recruiting, hiring, training, managing, and leading these individuals, there can be a lot of variables and a lot of time invested into building out this internal team for optimal success. So considering these things when scaling up, thinking about how an outsourced team can work when you're in need of leads and appointments very quickly for your business is something else to consider.